That's Clark. He's my co-host.
Hey, Clark.
Hi, how are you?
Teresa and Dusti Renee.
Where's the, oh, there you are. I was blocking it with my body. There, three, how's
I
that
didn't
look?
know you fixed that. I wouldn't bring a coat, man.
Hello.
Okay.
I'll edit it later and paste one on you. I'll copy and paste.
Oh, okay.
Got a suit on you.
Okay. We got half a second.
We do? I got 3 minutes is what I got, 3.5 minutes.
You going by the computer or you
By
going
the
by
computer,
your clock?
oh, forget that clock.
That's
That
your
thing was-
clock.
That was 8 o'clock the other day, remember?
You got 3 minutes?
You got 2 minutes.
11:57.
Yeah, no, this is actually the second time I've done something like this.
Really?
And I did a show called From Grief to Relief last year.
Where? In Vegas? Can you guys share this microphone?
Looks like a good strong one.
Whoops.
That took talent.
What?
He moved the camera
With my foot?
with his foot.
Yeah, I moved the back one though, not the front one. All right. Okay, you guys ready?
Sure.
As ready as I ever be.
All right. You got your script ready, Rolando? You know what to
Yes,
say?
I got the same
All right.
script.
Is this where I panic and pass out?
I guess your girlfriend was here last night, right?
No, I don't know.
I see the business card.
Really?
Easy Daddy Talk
Oh, I don't know about that.
with a cherry in her mouth.
Ooh.
That was a show that we had.
Go.
Hello, Las Vegas. This is Rolando Landras with Face the Tribune. If you got nothing to hide, you can face the Tribune. If you do have something to hide, watch out because we're coming after you. Today, we're gonna take a break on politics. We're gonna let Donald Trump take a break. He's in New York agitating everybody, and we are going to start tomorrow with, oh no, tomorrow I got Josh
Marshall?
Josh Marshall tomorrow. So we're gonna have to take a break on that too. But today I got something new. I have a little tiny bit experience on this, but we are going to talk about something that is the future in in this new generation, not in my generation, but we talk about transgenders, and we have two transgenders, right?
Yes.
That's what it is. Teresa and Dusti Renee, and we are going to talk about something that and if my co-host, Mr. Clark Philly, Mr. Producer, cannot handle this type of conversation, I give you a break. I let you take a break if you cannot mentally or otherwise.
Okay, and who runs everything? What kind of break is that if I have to run everything?
Just scaring too.
I'm just
I don't
kidding.
get scared.
I'm just kidding with him. He's
I'm
he's
a
my
rock.
he's
If I put up with him every day, I can handle
oh yeah. I got a very nasty sense of humor.
Oh, I got one of those demented ones myself.
Really? Okay, good. So now we're gonna talk about something that It might be a little bit difficult for some people to swallow, but it is the new generation. It is the new life. It is what it is nowadays. From one point to another one, I hear a lot of stuff about kids in the school wanted to have a bathroom for transgenders. I like to hear about you guys' opinion on that. And I'm gonna ask you, I'm not an expert in this material. If I make a mistake or if I said something, then I should not be saying it's not with intention to hurt anybody's feeling or anything. I just don't know what I'm talking about. So you've been in transgender. I'm talking now to Teresa. You've been a transgender since
Birth.
you was born.
Since birth, yes. I have a condition called Klinefelter
Move the
syndrome.
mic a little bit and then we give it to her.
I have a condition called Klinefelter syndrome that, as I was discussing earlier, only happens at birth. It's a condition where you have 3 sex chromosomes instead of 2, being XY or XX. I have XXY. So my condition started from birth. I developed as a female, had no choice in the matter. When I finally saw doctors, I was given a choice whether I wanted to take, because I didn't produce any of either. And since I already had breasts, I had no Adam's apple, I had a small frame, I had female characteristics. My hips are wider than my shoulders, waist. So there really wasn't any choice for me in the matter of the direction I was going.
Uh-huh.
So this is part of the gender umbrella. Basically here to talk. Basically 2 sides. There are the binary side and there's the non-binary side. And primarily what we're seeing in the news with the bathrooms and stuff is the non-binary kids that identify one gender or the other, or don't identify as either gender or whatever, and they want to use the bathroom of the gender they identify as.
Uh-huh.
It's not necessarily a problem because they're not going to hurt anybody.
Of course not.
Okay. But what we're trying to present is there's a whole side to this trans umbrella. It's the binary people. A binary is of one, where a non-binary of one. Sexual. So I into society to bring attention to are the ones that you person unless she told you.
In the schools.
Yeah.
I believe there's a lot of mean people in there. They used to be like the museum. By creating a bathroom or by identifying one way or is the male in the school the opportunity to identify that as they can actually molested or bang. That's the way I look at it. Now you look at it the other way. You look at the fact that you are a woman, and if they make you, well, you say you have a female
Yes,
birth
yes,
certificate.
I have a female birth certificate now.
But
so
you don't have it.
I do not.
You do not. So if you're going to go to a bathroom, you're going to be forced to go to a male bathroom, right?
They would try to force me to go to a male bathroom. I would resist that.
How would you resist that? By not going to the bathroom at all?
If that's what it took.
Yeah.
Why? I was born a girl. Even though I may have had male genitalia, I was still born a girl. So therefore, to force me to go into a bathroom that I do not identify with is a very traumatic experience. And I feel, why should I be forced to go somewhere that I don't belong? I belong in the girls' bathroom. And throughout history, there has never been a documented case where a trans person has attacked or caused any problems in the
Right.
bathroom.
Right, I
None,
agree with that.
none. All the problems come from the so-called straight males.
But because unfortunately, people that are not uh, intelligent enough to realize then being gay doesn't make you a pervert.
Yeah.
And being a transgender or a
Doesn't make you
transsexual,
gay.
it doesn't make you gay. But still, even the gay people, I think 90% or 95% of the gay people are not pervert, are not child molesters
Well,
or
that-
anything like
That's
that.
kind of part of it. Gay men use the men's room every day and
Yeah.
never have an issue. Okay? But when you put a trans woman in the men's room that looks like a woman, now you've got an issue.
That's true.
Okay?
That's
And-
true.
and-
Oh wow, we got a girl here.
Yeah,
Listen.
and then there's the trans men side, the women that are trying to become men. Okay? When you make one of these men go into the ladies' room, you've got to panic. The women will straight up panic. They don't understand why there's a man in their bathroom. And you know,
I think it would be more panic for the male to go into the female.
You go to big concerts and we have females in our bathroom all the time, because they can't stand in the girls' line. So they just go right in the men's room,
well, yeah,
by the hundreds.
The girl-
Yeah,
the
that's-
girls' line are 5 times
Oh,
longer than the
at
men's
least,
line.
you know, so if you have to go, just screw this, and you just,
under those circumstances, even myself, I might use the men's room and just not care. But you know, it's a thing. It's a subject that's not going to go away, and it's something that's I don't know.
What society doesn't understand is they have been sharing their bathrooms with transgender people for years and years and years. This is nothing that is new. It has just been brought to the spotlight in recent
political
years.
stuff.
Yes.
But we've been using the bathrooms with no consequences for
Are there any
our
countries that have
entire lives.
unisex bathrooms? That's
There
normal.
are, and there are corporations and buildings that have unisex bathrooms at all as well.
Yeah,
UNLV is switching to unisex bathrooms.
yes.
This is part of what we're also trying to bring attention to is that there are two groups within the trans umbrella, the binary, like I was saying earlier, the binary and the non-binary. And largely what we're hearing in the news and we're seeing about the bathroom issues and all that stuff is being presented by the non-binary side of the trans issue. Then there's, like I said, binary people like myself. I have a female birth certificate. However, when they fight for bathroom rights, and like in, what is it, Connecticut, they pass, I think it's Connecticut,
Connecticut or Vermont.
okay, and where they pass laws that say you have to use the bathroom of your assigned birth, that could end up affecting me even though I have a female birth certificate.
Why?
Because it's law, it would be law. You have to go.
But if you have a birth certificate that say you are a female, how can they affect you? How can it affect?
The key word is assigned at
birth.
birth.
Yes.
Oh.
It may have been changed later in your life, but it's what you were assigned when you were born.
Yes. Like I
So if
said.
you had an operation, then there
You
go,
had
out
the
the window,
operation.
whatever.
Yes, I have.
You
Whenever
have the
you were
operation.
born.
Yes, I have.
Right.
Wow.
So
That is a complicated thing.
it's a very complicated thing, and that's and like I say, I'm just starting to bring the binary side to the issue. It's not something that's uncommon within the community at this point. The binary girls are aren't being represented, okay? And primarily because we don't want attention. We don't do trans pride, we don't do gay pride, we don't do gay events because the majority of
Because
us,
you're not a gay.
we're not gay. We're primarily heterosexual. We have husbands. We have jobs. We live normal lives. We blend. Like I said, for the most part, the girls that we're trying to reach, you wouldn't know they were trans unless they told you.
So why is it even an issue?
For us, it's not. It's an issue with the conservative side of society.
How do they know?
Well, they are now proposing that there be a body check.
No, hold on.
The what?
Go ahead.
A person,
I knew there was something missing here.
a
Go ahead.
person at the door of the bathroom checking your ID to make sure you can go into that
Come
bathroom.
on, Jesus.
Oh, really?
Yes.
They do that in the
Unbelievable.
clubs now?
No, they're doing that in these
Unbelievable.
new states where they've made these new party laws.
That's the proposal.
And
Yes.
these are coming from the liberal side,
Um,
like you mentioned Vermont.
yeah,
Jesus,
so
that's
it's,
Bernie Sanders territory
Yeah.
there.
it's getting weird, and
Well, that is weird.
like I
I
said,
mean, if it's not an issue, they're making it an issue.
they're making it an issue. Yes, exactly.
That's what I said before. We've been using bathrooms for 50, 100, 150 years. And there's never been a problem.
Are you that old?
I'm not that old, no. But
You are.
you have to understand, transsexuals and transgenders have been around since
Oh, yeah.
the beginning.
Why don't they all go down to the swap meet like you do? You get any ID down there, $80, whatever you want.
Yeah. You go to the swap meet, you get
So you have a bathroom.
a green card, you get a driver's license, and everything for $80.
That's the problem with the government, is they think they can control things.
Yeah,
And whatever they try to do, it's usually the opposite reaction.
yes.
They screw up all the time.
Well, it's like recently
That's
in
ridiculous.
the legislature we now have trans rights to hold jobs. Generally, it's legal to discriminate against us, but the hate crime bill didn't pass
Yeah.
Where?
here in Nevada.
Uh,
So you generally can't discriminate against us, but you can hate us.
Yeah.
So it's like, we get some action, but we don't really get a lot of action, and it's primarily because for I don't know, since the '60s when I originally looked up transgender rights in the Constitution, we were actually considered deviants,
Sexual deviance.
sexual deviants. So under those regulations, we had no rights, none. It was legal to discriminate against us or do whatever the heck you wanted.
In the majority of the states, and these are the red states, we have absolutely zero protection in job, in housing.
Well, let me ask you, is it illegal to be a transgender? Or it used to be illegal to be gay, right?
It used to be illegal for a transgender person to dress up,
Like a woman,
yes.
or like whatever they,
Yes.
They could be arrested, charged, fined, imprisoned, everything.
And
and it's still that way?
I first came out in 1979, and it was that way in 1979.
And there was a time, I don't know if it's still true, but in Hawaii, I myself, being post-operative, completely female birth certificate, I would still have to wear a little button that says I'm a boy. By law,
Really?
really.
I never seen anything
In
like
some
that.
states,
Well, I don't go to the places where the girls are boys or the boys are girls, but I never seen anybody.
in some states, it's okay to dress as a woman as long as you wear male underwear.
You're gonna get the government involved, you're gonna get messed
I
up.
mean, I don't mean
Yeah,
to,
Nothing
I
doesn't
don't
make
mean to
sense.
laugh. I mean, it's funny, but
Yeah,
you know.
It's
Oh my
ridiculous.
God.
it's all based on Lack of education, lack of understanding,
go.
and ignorance.
So how the law in
Ignorance.
Nevada?
Currently, in the laws in Nevada, we have we mostly have rights, but like I said, the hate crime bill did not pass.
Governor Sandoval has been very sympathetic to our needs. He has signed into law the non-discrimination in employment, non-discrimination in housing,
Housing,
and a couple other areas that
And
were protected here.
you are allowed to get married.
I am, for sure.
You?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
You are.
Well,
too.
gay marriage is allowed, so technically, if you have a male birth certificate and you're trans, you can marry another man or woman or whatever you
How about
want.
before the Supreme Court decision?
I don't know about that. Did they change it again?
Well, gays can get married.
Right,
Oh, yeah,
and
Yeah,
that's
so it's
when it
federal.
was. That
So
was
now
when it
it's a
was-
federal issue.
Yeah.
Before that, I was just curious.
yeah. We kind of fall under that umbrella.
I think everybody will, because that's
Yeah.
national.
I hold all of my identification papers are female, with the exception of my birth certificate. And that is because some states will not issue a new certificate, nor will they modify an existing certificate.
What's your driver's license?
It's female. My social security card reflects my female gender.
What do you mean the social security card? You guys keep talking about social security. You said social security say when you're a male or a female?
Oh, yes.
How?
It's part of your
It's-
background.
Oh, in the office, but not
Yes.
in the
Not the
car.
car.
Not on the card.
Oh,
What they have all of your information with your card on the front.
uh-huh.
And the very first page will identify you as male or female.
Right, well, that's, yeah.
Any employer has access to that information.
That
Yeah.
is
I
accessible.
think your tax forms, your IRS filings.
Yes. Yes, recently I was charged with some crimes, and what really upset me was when I went to court, I was charged under my previous name and gender, which no longer exists.
Well, then you're off.
You would think so. You know, I told the attorneys that and everything else, and they're like, "Oh, that's no big deal. We'll just change it." And they did, and everything continued.
Who was your attorney?
The public defender's office.
Oh,
I mean, the public offender's office.
yeah, thank you.
So, yes, they were wonderful people. They weren't gonna listen to anything I said. I was guilty, and that was all there was to it.
Yeah,
That was-
They work for the
But
other
that's
side.
not the problem with the public offenders, defender's office. That is the problem with every attorney. I know an attorney that got paid $10,000 to go and defend a person, and he went to the jail and said, well, look, you plead guilty and we get rid of this.
Yeah.
I'm not guilty, why would I plead guilty?
Yeah.
Well, the guy was not from here, he was from Florida, an architect from Florida, a well-known architect in Florida, and he was accused of a crime that he didn't commit.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to plead guilty.
Yeah.
What people don't know is that in Nevada, you have to get out of the courthouse with a guilty plea, no matter what. They
Well, that's-
always push you to plead guilty to something, even to a spit in the sidewalk. That when I came here, it was illegal. Now people vomiting in the sidewalk, and it's okay.
That's primarily how I got my charges dismissed. I had a very strong case that proved their case was based on lies.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's very good.
that they violated my rights and all this kind of stuff. And I had a case, and they knew they didn't have a case. And basically, I ended up pleading to a meaningless misdemeanor. I gave them a $350 fine. Because I have a medical marijuana license, they took my guns on a matter of policy, saying that they might get stolen by a criminal and end up in the hands of a criminal, so they couldn't return them to me.
But we can send guns to Mexico in hopes that they come back so we can trace them.
But generally, and I had them add on to that, okay, once I do all this, I want my charges dismissed, I wanna be acquitted, I don't wanna have anything, my intention, see, I'm a medical marijuana patient, these were medical marijuana charges. And, my intention one day is to actually become a grower, so I can't have any of that on my record.
Let's take a break about your issue. Let me ask you, who was the judge in your case?
Oh, what was her name?
Please don't tell me that you don't know.
Elizabeth Gonzalez.
Gonzalez. Oh, okay.
She was really nice.
I thought it was Doc Smith, but because Doc Smith, the prosecutor had a deal with this young man, right? Then he's mentally ill because he was beat up and his head was open, wide open, and he's not a normal kid anymore. The prosecutor made a deal he was going to do 8 years in prison, and that was it. He, of course, within the law,
Yeah.
he had the right to accept the deal or not. He's the judge.
Yeah.
He changed the mind and he gave him life in prison because he doesn't know if 8 years later he's going to commit the same crime.
I actually got yelled at once, right in court because
By who?
the judge.
Really?
This was down in Justice Court. I don't remember what that judge's name was, but the public defender's office was trying to get me to take a deal, and they were piling on the duress.
Yeah, they do
And
that.
I actually stood up in the courtroom, and I told the judge, you know, I would really love to take this deal and have it be over with, but these attorneys are putting me under so much duress to get me to take it. She said, right there, you're going to pretrial, and I'm like, oh, thank you. You know, because my whole thing all along was I'm not guilty. I did not do the things
I
they
need to
charged me
find
with.
out who that judge was. I need you to go back to your paper. I need to find out who that judge, because he might be running for re-election
Well,
now.
that was actually the best thing that
I know, but that's not the point. They don't want people to know that the public defenders and the criminal attorneys are forcing people to take deals.
yes, they are, absolutely. And they give you no other choice. They give you no other option. They won't listen to you. They won't anything.
No.
They won't help you. And no matter what case you what evidence you provide them, it's worthless. They won't use it. It's bad.
This should not be. I know 3 people that I personally know that they didn't commit the crime and they are doing time in prison because they were forced to take a deal.
That's one of those things I would love to be able to say that I was discriminated against because I was trans, but everybody else in that court, normal or otherwise, was getting the same treatment. So I can't do that.
What do you mean normal?
Regular people, you know, average.
You're not regular? You're not normal?
You understand what I'm saying? Not
I
non-trans
I just
people.
want to make the point.
Yeah.
But you know, that's my point.
Non-trans
Why do
people.
we have to treat anybody different than
Different,
anybody
yes.
else?
Yes,
And
in
you do it yourself.
In that particular case, I was absolutely being treated like everybody else.
Okay,
So-
that's my point.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what do you think will be the solution to trying to make people to understand your mentality or your physiological
Well,
behavior, or how can we educate the people to do that? Not only in Nevada, in the whole country. You know, this issue is not a Nevada issue.
I remember sex education when I was in school. They taught us the difference between.
Was you a girl when you go to school?
No, I was raised as a boy.
You was raised as a boy.
Yes. My
And
parents.
you too?
Yes.
I know, I saw your picture. Man, you look mean in that picture.
But they described to us the difference between male genitalia and female genitalia, and that, you know, men and women do this, you know, have sex to have babies, and generally how to do birth control and so on and so forth. Well, what they need to add is that there are other sexual orientations, gender orientations, and gender variations. And it's not necessarily that we need them to teach them this so that they try to become this. We need to teach them these things so that they're aware that not everybody's the same, you know. And it's not that hard, but it's such an we just went to a meeting
Right before last.
night before last about trans 101 and how to address trans people and how to deal with the pronoun the long list of pronouns that the non-conforming use and how to address people and how we are what we are, whether we're binary or non-conforming or otherwise, we're still people. Okay, and if we can educate our young people to this fact, then there should be less trouble because they're already made aware of the problem. Now, how we're going to re-educate all of us old folk that don't know and don't care and don't want to know, I have no idea.
Let me ask you, do you think parents have a problem with that? You think parents can be guilty of? I don't believe that you can turn anybody to be gay. I don't believe that.
We see parents all the time that are very accepting now of their trans children,
Yeah,
their
but
daughters
what about
or
if the
sons.
kids don't want to be?
That
I know
should
a
be-
case.
That should be the kid's choice.
I know a case. Actually, I don't know it personal. I read it in a well-known magazine that the mother was dressing the kid as a girl because she wanted to have a girl. Don't you think that is child abuse?
It can be, and it is not uncommon.
It is not?
It is not uncommon. This is petticoat punishment for young boys is actually considerably more common than you might think. You know, you get a very roughhousing boy, a very aggressive boy. Many mothers or
Mothers and fathers.
and we'll dress them up as girls to calm them down.
I knew two boys that I grew up with, that if they were too boisterous or if they did something wrong, they were put in dresses and put out in the front yard and made to play in the front yard for a day.
And you think that is something that the boys maybe enjoy it and they keep doing it?
I'm pretty sure they don't enjoy it.
And both of these boys are normal heterosexual
They
men.
both are.
Yes, it did not change their perception of who they were.
Well, I agree with that. I don't believe you make a gay person, boy or girl. You don't make it. They're born like that.
Yes.
You know, that's one thing. There's a difference between the pervert and the gay person. The pervert go both ways, do anything they wanted to do to get a piece. You know, that's not uncommon. But I also know that by reading, and I have to explain that because I don't want to be into the point where, well, you need to tell me this. I read it. Then they start dressing the boy as a girl, and the boy get a thrill out of that. It get enjoyment, and they realize that they feel better with female clothes than.
That is also another faction of
It's a possibility or not?
of the trans community. There are men that get sexual pleasure or arousal from dressing as women.
That's cross dressers.
Yes.
Yes, we're not supposed to use those words. So
Why?
they're offensive to them.
So
This is
what
one
are
of the things
they?
we learned in Trans 101.
But what are they?
In the 50s, they were transvestites. In the 90s, they were cross-dressers.
Now
They
they're
are-
just gender non-conforming.
Gender
Well-
non-conforming now.
But you know, in the 50s, there used to be shows. Even in my country, there was nightclubs. They have transvestite shows
Yes, there are drag shows all over town.
in the 50s.
Yes, there are And in those drag shows, you've got trans women that perform, and you've got
I never met a
actual
trans
straight
woman.
males that perform in drag.
And you have gay males that
And you have-
perform.
And you have gay males, and you have gender non-conforming people that perform. So even just in a drag show, there's a very large dichotomy
So this
of
is not a
different
scene,
people.
this is not a scene that it can be considered sexually pervert because you
No.
dress one way or the other.
No.
It's not
Yeah.
based
No.
on sex.
Well, I
It's not
wrote
based on
about that
sex.
one time. I wrote about that one time because, you know, you got girls ballet parking, you got girls bellman or bell person,
Yeah.
and but if a guy is gonna be a cocktail waiter, you know, they look at it like, oh my God, you know, girls can wear pants and guys cannot wear dresses.
Well, that would be a kilt.
That would be a well, okay. And you ever see somebody with a kilt in the store? Everybody look at him.
Not in this country, but not in this
Oh,
area.
I see it in his
I've seen it
face.
occasionally, but
Yeah, but no, I'm not saying I see it every day, but I see it and everybody look at that person. You know,
I
some
don't
people
know.
don't even know what a kilt is.
I find myself trying to look underneath.
No, it's a double standard that we have to live with.
Clark, do you wear a kilt?
No. He says no.
I'm trying to remember. No, I don't think I.
No. Okay. So anyway, what else can we talk about? You got any question, Mr. Producer?
No, I'm just listening, absorbing.
You looking at any questions in there in your dictionary over there?
I'm looking up consumer affairs.
Oh.
Well, I guess I should do my announcement thing then.
Oh.
Basically, what this all started from is I made a press release on a new support group that we're starting.
That's good.
It's
Let's
called-
talk about that.
It's called Sisters, and it's a trans women support group for those women who have made their choices and are taking action. Basically, it's a medical support group. We are supporting the binary transgendered women, or trans women, transsexual women, those of us with Klinefelters, intersex women, anyone that is trying to
What is
conform
an
to
intersex?
the binary.
What is an intersex?
Intersex is a child, usually a child that is born with
Ambiguous genitalia.
ambiguous genitalia. They will correct them at birth, and usually wrongly.
They used to call them hermaphrodites,
Yes.
but that is now politically incorrect.
Primarily what we're looking for is anyone that's on female hormones trying to conform to the binary gender female roles of society, trying to fit in. Those that are taking some kind of medical steps to fit in better as a female in society. We do not care about your sexual preference. We don't care if you intend to have final surgery or not. All we care is that you're trying to fit in as a woman. And
Or
that
as
you're
a man.
generally
Or as a man.
No.
there's already
No.
a men's group.
Oh, it is already.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we're looking for the binary girls out there that would be uncomfortable in a mixed group of the trans umbrella. Okay, because that's generally what's available right now is a mixed group where we sit in a room with all types of trans people. And the problem is we're binary. We think binary. And we're in a room with non-binary people. So we're trying to make that separation so that we can make the binary girls considerably more comfortable and give them a place to talk to other like-minded people.
And a forum where we can discuss female issues. And we discuss those with other females. We don't feel comfortable if we're discussing, something that's very personal, that's a female issue, when there is a man sitting next to us.
I like to describe it like this. Okay, when you take a transgender person and you put them on female hormones, you have now created a teenage girl. Who do teenage girls talk to?
Other teenage girls.
Pretty much so only. They won't talk to anybody else. Well, that's what we're trying to provide. Is we're trying to provide a place where these girls on hormones can talk to other girls on hormones and get the correct answers that they need.
We have the same issues. So who is better to talk to about an issue than someone that's going through the same thing that you are?
You can get close to the mic and don't be afraid. It's not contagious,
So
you know.
we won't bite.
We don't. Yeah. So anyway, let me ask you. I hear this mentality or this kind of explanation once or twice. There's a difference between a gay person and a homosexual person.
Too much of the same thing.
Well, homosexual is in itself an umbrella. It covers lesbian, gay, bisexual.
Well, the explanation that they gave me is very simple. A gay person normally pretend to be a man or is a gay in the closet or whatever. Homosexual have a bond with a woman. They can talk about woman stuff. They can go shopping and this and that. This is the mentality. The gay person hate woman. The homosexual don't hate. Is that any kind of a truth to that?
I've never heard that.
No, that's.
You're saying a male was born with a woman's brain, so they think they act like a woman.
Right, that's what they
Well,
call
there
it.
are some very effeminate gay men out there.
Yeah.
And they're perfectly happy being men, and they're perfectly happy being the effeminate part of the relationship. So they're just gay. They're not homosexual. Well, they could identify as homosexual, but generally they're just gay. That's very large consensus.
Yeah, because it's a lot of stuff, it's a lot of things that the people create, and it might not be true, it might not be, and maybe that is one of them, you know.
Well, see, that's part of where part of the problem is like I said, the binary side of the trans umbrella, we pretty much so blend in, so we're not really in the news, and it's the LGBTQ community and generally the non-binary side of the trans community that you're seeing in the news. So consequently, the majority of people equate us, the binary side, with the non-binary side, and we're not the same. We're just not the same. We're not out there trying to draw attention to ourselves. We don't want the attention for the most part. Myself and Dusty, we're kind of rare.
So you don't want to be compared to this or to that. You guys discriminate among yourself.
Like I said, the majority of us blend so well, you wouldn't know one of us unless we told you. That's just the way the binary girls are. They're not interested in attention. They just want to be a woman. That's all there is to it.
And see, the non-binary, their feelings are that they are not a woman, they're not a man, they are either
Or
or
Both,
Uh,
or any combination of. Some of them will choose to wear men's clothes one day and dress the next day, and still want to be called they, them, or their, or he, him, his, or we got a list of like 20 different things that they're using now, and it's confusing in itself. And
Well,
we're trying to learn it ourselves.
when we had the office in Commercial Center, there was a guy next door that wear dresses, but he got a beard.
yes.
That would be your non-conforming.
That would be your gender
Ask
non-
Martinez.
Yes.
Martinez saw him one day and he went, "Look!"
Yes.
You know?
Unfortunately, that's what the majority of normal society sees, and they, like I said, they equate the ones
Is that
blend
considered
with that.
normal or considered freak or considered abnormal.
It's
It's
normal
considered
for him.
gender
her.
non-conforming, which is now a legitimate part of society. That-
You must
that-
be bucking up with the Constitution all the time, because none of this is in the Constitution.
Oh, no, it's in the equal employment rights now. That's like I said,
Well, that's not the Constitution, though, that's after that.
the Constitution has not been changed. Yes, you're
Right,
correct.
so that must be, you
It's
must be
local.
bucking up against that with a problem sometimes.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
You don't
Every
have
day.
constitutional rights in a way.
No, still do not have constitutional rights. So, although I do, I do.
Right, well,
Why?
because I have a female birth certificate.
right.
So,
Yeah, but it's not the first birth certificate. If
It
they
is
wanna
the only-
dig, if they wanna dig down to the nitty gritty, you just say a little while ago that they can find out.
they could, but
That depends on the state.
in my
Teresa's
case,
from California. California, they destroy their original birth certificate,
and
and the only one that exists is her new one.
Oh.
currently the only one that exists is my new one.
Whereas in Ohio, they will not touch the original birth certificate. They will not change it, they will not amend it.
Other states amend it.
So you're
They'll
bucking with
actually,
the Constitution there in some respects, you know, it's like.
yeah, it'll actually
How do
say male amended to female on the birth certificate.
Oh, really?
Yes,
But Ohio won't even do that.
yes.
But that would be unfair too, right?
That's unfair too, yes. That's,
Jeez.
Because you're trying to start your new life, you're trying to start brand new, and then boom, then hit you with that.
the majority of the girls that are binary and seek medical alterations or intervention to become female, this is their end goal. They don't want to ever have anything to do with male. In fact, I can honestly say I only know of one person that knows my previous name, and they know never to use it, and I won't tell it.
What is your
I won't tell it.
Just put on the radio then.
Nobody else will listen to.
Yeah.
What is your name again?
No, it's like I took the easy way out. I kept my name.
One. Oh, Dusty?
Yes. I just changed.
Yeah, that's it.
I just changed the spelling. I felt, why after 50 or 60 years should I start going by another name? I'm used to Dusty. I've always been Dusty. I just changed it from D-U-S-T-Y.
Is that a name or a nickname?
No, it's my name. It's
Is
my
your
new
name?
name. Yes.
Dusty is a-
I just changed it to D-U-S-T-I.
instead of why?
Just feminized it, yes.
This is a very common thing with a lot of transgender women or whatever. They find ways of feminizing their names, like
Randy.
or Kyle to Kylie, or
The pronunciation, the
Just-
spelling is the same.
yeah, just because there are male and female variations to most names.
Yeah.
So it's very common, because
Carol is a great one.
yeah,
There's guys with Carol, and there's women with Carol. It's
Or
spelled the
Jane.
same and everything.
Well, Sandy,
Sandy, yes,
remember Sandy Waterman?
yes.
The president of the Sands? The
No.
one that punched Frank Sinatra in the mouth? No, that was
Wasn't very
Carl Cohen.
ladylike.
No, that was Carl Cohen. And Sandy Waterman, Sandy Waterman, what he did is he put a gun on Frank Sinatra when he moved to Caesar's Palace. The fight was at the Sands back in the, I don't know, 57, 58, somewhere, 59, somewhere around there. And Frank Sinatra came over there and trying to make some noise, and he punched him in the mouth. He took his teeth out.
Yeah.
And nobody interfered, nobody did anything. That was in 1963, not the 50s. I was a little bit behind it. And then he moved from the Sands to Caesar's Palace, and he tried to do the same thing in Caesar's Palace because Frank Sinatra was a very nice guy. He did a lot of charity quietly without publicity or anything like that. But when he got a few drinks, he was a pain in the neck, like most drunks are. Most drunks are either they like to fight or they like to be comedians and they love a boy. I love you, I love you. You know, that's why I don't drink, so I can't stand
30 years sober.
drunks. I've been,
Yeah.
how old am I? 47, right? And yeah,
No, I've been 30 years
85
sober myself. So
85 years sober.
yeah, there you go.
I don't like to drink, and I don't, and I got friends that drink. I got friends that drunk, you know, but I don't. And I had a very, very dear friend of mine that she liked to drink, and then when I see her a little bit, I said, it's time to go to bed, you know, and I don't want her to make a fool of herself, you know.
Back when I did, it was because I was trying to escape. The pain I felt was so unbearable that I needed to escape, you know. And eventually,
And then what happened when you sobered up? You still had the same pain?
I still had the same pain.
Okay, so why
I-
ruin your liver and ruin, you know, I don't
Well, I
know.
learned to
I'm
live
not
with it.
criticizing the drunks now.
I
You know.
learned to live with it. It's hard when you're in a position like mine. I've always basically been female. I've always felt female. I always
Yeah.
felt female between my legs, even though it wasn't. So my only desire was to get the surgery, and not having it, I swore I was wearing. I was literally ashamed of what I had. So that was what dominated my thought processes. You know, because I thought everybody knew. So you know, I was in my little shell. Well, now that I'm corrected, I found my courage. I found my self confidence. Okay, and this is a very prevalent problem within our community. You know, because we just don't feel right.
Well, I tell you, I hate to tell you this, but I invite you over here because I thought it was easy to understand myself, and also it was easy for people to understand. But I am more confused now than when you walk in.
Oh, I'm telling you,
I am telling you the truth. It's very, very confusing.
yes.
And I think you guys have a great task ahead of you, not only to make the public understand, you are creating a group to understand each other.
Yes.
You know, and that is completely.
We go to these trans workshops where other trans are trying to help trans understand trans, and we ourselves leave more confused than when we went. So
Really?
we fully understand.
So I don't
Yes.
feel
It's
isolated. I'm
no.
not isolated.
It's such an all-encompassing umbrella of so many different types, and the reality is each one of us are different, just like each one of everybody else is different. And we've all got our own stories, and we've all got our own ways that we feel, that we want to be treated, that we want to present ourselves, that and it's just so much variety, and that doesn't even get, you haven't even got down into the subgroups that are still so full of variety. Okay, so you've got variety on top of variety on top of variety on top of variety, and it doesn't end.
You look concerned. You look. What is in your mind? Just right now. What is in your mind right now?
That as older transgender women, it is imperative that we pave the way for the younger generations. We have faced our obstacles, and we want to conquer those obstacles so that the younger generation does not face them.
So what are you saying? Eliminate the transgender?
No, we just want to bring about the education.
Right.
Well, that's why I invite you guys over here today, trying to educate myself and trying to because I told you from the beginning and the phone, I'm ignorant when it comes to that. And the little bit I knew, it could have been wrong. It could have been any other way than I cannot. And then a lot of people, probably like me, are afraid to ask questions and insult the person. Then it doesn't need to be insulted or hurt their feelings or whatever, you know. So, but if you guys talk,
Yes.
My philosophy is, you can ask me any question that you want, as long as you ask it respectfully.
Yes.
but how do we know that? How do we know that we can ask you any question? First of all, how do we know that you are a transgender? You know,
As I said,
how do we know that we can ask the questions that we wanted to ask respectfully or not respectfully?
yes.
There are times,
We got 2 minutes left.
I will have somebody, just last week, I had a lady ask me if I was transgender, and I said, yes, I am. And she said, can I ask you some questions? I said, yes, you may. And we have ended up having 3 or 4 conversations because she was very interested and she was very misinformed about who we are.
I educate people all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
And how does she left, when she left your side, how does she left? She was changed her mind, or was she anti or pro?
Oh,
Or
very pro,
very
very
pro?
pro. She,
So I assume the pro is easy to come to
Once you take
To
the ignorance
educate.
out of the equation and you educate people a little bit and they understand, they're no longer afraid.
she realized I was just like her. You know, we discussed cooking, we discussed fashion, we discussed everything that 2 women would discuss.
We use the word cisgender to describe regular people. And that's basically the world I live in. I live in a cis world. I have cis friends. I don't really go to gay things except for when I go to the center for our meetings. So
Well, I want to thank you both for being here today. I hope that wherever you are, you understood some of this stuff that we talk about today, because I didn't understand anything, you know, but I admit that I'm ignorant, you know, and I will like to invite you again sometime
yes, absolutely.
and talk about it, you know,
Yes.
and see what how can Las Vegas Tribune and Radio Tribune can put a little piece of a piece of rock on educating the people, especially like you said, Dusty, the new generation. Then they might still have the mentality that their father had or the grandparent. Then it is a crime to be transgender or to be gay or to be a homosexual or to be whatever you want to call yourself. I don't know the right word or the right name, but I am glad that you guys came in, and I would like to sometime in the near future invite you over again.
Be
And
glad to.
thank you very much for listening. Mr. Producer, you want to say anything else before?
Yes, very interesting. Thanks for coming. I'm glad I was able to produce.
Produce?
Even though you were all confused, I think we produced it good.
Yeah? Did
It's-
you get
it's-
confused
It's
or not?
amazing how confusing it is, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's,
Thank you. Stay tuned for
you get the government involved telling you what kind of underwear to wear and stuff, and
Yeah.
checking IDs.
stay tuned for Wake Up Call
That's where
with
you lose
Steve
me. That's
Dempsey.
when I go off the rails on that one.
That's cool.
Thank you very much.
Stay there. Don't move yet.
Oh.